Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Tonight, the forewarned team keeping a close eye on the skies. You can see storms popping up right now on ExactTrack 40 radar.
And now take a look at live pictures from our downtown sky cam. Most of Metro Detroit under a level 1 threat for severe storms out of 5. Some neighborhoods are facing a bigger risk depending on where you are. Despite the wildfire smoke and some of the rain, we avoided any severe weather this weekend. But that could be changing tonight. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ty Steele.
Good evening. I'm in for Kimberly Gill. I'm Karen Drew. We are keeping a watchful eye right now on that radar for you. Forewarned meteorologist Brian Sherman is in for Kim Adams this evening. And Brian, can you give us a better understanding of when these storms will be right over us?
Karen and Ty, I think within the next 3 to 4 hours will be the best chance to see any kind of severe weather develop west of Metro Detroit. Because of that severe weather threat, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a severe thunderstorm watch for Genesee, Livingston, Washtenaw, and Lenawee counties until 10 o'clock tonight, as these areas stand the best chance to see the strongest of the storms through the afternoon and into the early to mid-evening hours tonight. ExactTrack 40 radar here. Good news, I've been watching over the past 30 minutes or so. No warnings showing up west of Metro Detroit. So as we take a look here, working up into Lenawee County and off to the west, so there's Howell, there's Washtenaw County, Dexter over to Ann Arbor, and Manchester, all dry. But those thunderstorms are starting to move off to the east. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. I'll time out when the storms exit your neighborhood and some dry weather to follow the next few days. Details in your full forewarned forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Our other top story right now, charges for the 2 men accused of plotting to shoot up a high school graduation ceremony in Pontiac.
Jamarian Hardiman and Davion Whaley, seen right here, are both facing charges connected to that incident at the UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac. But those charges are only for weapons violations, not for the suspected threat itself. Lauren Kostick is live on this story tonight. Lauren, why is that?
Well, Karen and Ty, investigators tell me that's because they are still working to verify this alleged threat and link it to the accused. But in the meantime, like you said, these two suspects are facing a handful of weapon charges being arraigned right here in court just a few hours ago.
The state of Michigan versus Jamarian Hardiman.
20-year-old Jamarian Hardiman and 19-year-old Davion Whaley, both appearing over Zoom Monday.
Court has to take into consideration the safety and well-being of the community.
The judge ultimately issuing a $250,000 cash bond for Hardiman, who is on probation for a separate weapons offense.
He does not care about the collateral consequences of public safety and no court directives.
And a $200,000 cash bond for Wiley, who authorities say had one of the guns in his waistband.
This gun was ready, it was loaded, it was good to go.
The pair faces charges of carrying a firearm with unlawful intent, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a felony, and carrying a concealed weapon. It stems from a June 3rd incident at a Pontiac graduation. Authorities say a fight broke out and continued in the parking lot where one of the suspects was hit by a car. That's when deputies say video shows the pair retrieving these guns from their vehicle before ditching them. Deputies were also informed of an alleged Snapchat threat. The sheriff saying this Friday.
And I believe probably prevented a mass shooting.
But on Monday, the prosecutor said, quote, law enforcement has not been able to verify the existence of the Snapchat. Therefore, we are moving forward with the charges presented by investigators.
And we are told additional charges could be possible if they are able to verify this alleged threat. That's why the sheriff's office is asking for the community's help tonight, saying if anyone has seen this threat or maybe screenshotted it, to reach out to them immediately. Reporting live in Pontiac, Lauren Kostick, Local 4.
And we know you'll keep us posted, Lauren. Thank you.
Meantime, tonight at 6, I'm going to take you inside the investigation into that graduation threat, uncovering new information. Today, I sat down with the school security officer who took immediate action when he saw the threat.
Someone calls me personally on my cell phone and says, Mr. Johnson, it's going around on Snapchat that individuals are there that might have been inside, and they're talking about shooting the place up as the graduates and the families come outside.
We're talking to the school security officer who got the tip that helped stop a potential mass shooting at a local high school graduation. As we go inside the investigation, uncovering new details the public doesn't know.
There are challenges, and so because we deal with those families and those students every single day, we know that anytime you put a gathering as such, a wonderful celebration, but anytime you put all of those people together, we never know what is actually stirring in the community.
Breaking news right now, the U.S. military is sending in 700 Marines to Los Angeles after a weekend of violence and protests. These are live pictures of a march happening right now through downtown L.A. The decision comes after protesters, L.A.'s mayor and Governor Newsom of California demanded an end to sweeping immigration raids by federal agents. The Trump administration already deployed around 300 National Guard troops to protect streets and federal buildings. Jay Gray is in the middle of it all right now in downtown L.A.
Burned out cars, broken glass and debris litter the streets of downtown Los Angeles. Remnants from a weekend of violence. Thousands of protesters, police, and the National Guard squaring off as sweeping immigration raids continue across the city.
What ICE did the last couple of days is make Los Angeles safer by taking public safety threats off the street.
Dozens have been detained. Family members speaking publicly for the first time today say most are simple, hard-working laborers.
I'm here today on behalf of my father and the dozens of families who were kidnapped by ICE. I witnessed how they put my father in handcuffs, chained him from the waist and from his ankles.
She says the detainees haven't been allowed to communicate with lawyers or their families.
Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is the sponsor of these conditions.
California Governor Gavin Newsom accusing the president of manufacturing a crisis, federalizing 2,000 of the state's National Guard soldiers, deploying around 300 so far. A move being challenged now in court.
I, in partnership with Governor Gavin Newsom, are suing President Trump. Trump and Hegseth ignored law enforcement's expertise and guidance and trampled over our state's, California's, sovereignty.
Undeterred, President Trump says the raids and show of force will continue.
We're going to have troops everywhere.
500 California-based Marines now on standby, ready to move in. Jay Gray, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Also breaking right now, 400 nurses at Henry Ford Rochester are off the job and on the picket line, all part of a 3-day strike over pay and wanting more nurses on the job to keep patients safe. Jay Scott Smith is live on this story for us this evening. Jay, what about the patients in the hospital right now?
Well, good evening, Karen. Good evening, everybody. You see right over my shoulder here, the picket line has continued throughout the entire day, and these nurses at Henry Ford Rochester are hoping this strike will get through to management that things need to change to make care better. The chorus of car horns has greeted the nearly 400 members of the OPEIU Local 40 who walked off the job at 7 a.m. over what they're calling unfair labor practices.
The nurses are here to show the hospital we're serious.
Dina Carlisle, the union's president, says that the nurses want more money and have a ratio of nurses to patients that will keep everyone safe. It's a battle that dates back nearly 2 years to a dispute with the hospital's former owner.
I had high hopes in October when Henry Ford came in that we would settle this contract and let this community have a beautiful hospital in their midst. Now I find that Henry Ford is more of a union buster than Ascension ever claimed to be.
Now, the hospital said in a statement to Local 4 that, quote, Henry Ford Rochester Hospital has a process in place to ensure our units are staffed in a way that provides the safe, high-quality care patients deserve. The strike itself is set to last for 3 days and end on Thursday. It's a tactic that Wayne State University business professor Dr. Merrick Masters says is a move to put pressure on the hospital.
The strategy is to provide an additional incentive for the employer to make concessions in order to reach an agreement. A longer-term strike puts the union in extreme jeopardy because it's very difficult for workers to stay out on strike, to be without pay for an extended period of time.
Henry Ford Rochester has taken the step of bringing in replacement nurses to cover the shifts of the nurses who are currently on strike until Saturday morning, which has led to another word being tossed around.
This is a lockout. Make no mistake. This is a lockout. They are using replacement nurses who are not part of this bargaining unit who don't have the same commitment and the same experience in this hospital for our patients. So that's very concerning alone.
Now, in response to the claims of a lockout, Henry Ford Rochester said in a statement, "We would have preferred our nurses working in our hospitals, but they were unwilling to provide us any assurances they would provide care for our patients. As a result, we were forced to make the difficult decisions about staffing and needed to make patient care our priority. We look forward to welcoming them back to work." Now, again, this strike is supposed to last for 3 days. They're going to stay on the picket line today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, but they won't be back until Saturday, and they're hoping that this starts to spur a change at the hospital. We're live in Rochester. I'm Jay Scott Smith for Local 4.
A lot of emotions on that strike for sure. All right, thank you, Jay.
New businesses, they are popping up, meaning new opportunities for 3 women opening shops in Detroit's North End neighborhood. Those small businesses are neighbors, and all 3 stage ribbon-cutting ceremonies to celebrate their grand opening in that growing community. Our Damon Fernandez spoke with each entrepreneur about why they made it a point to move to this specific area.
Well, neighbors are calling it a special day here in Detroit's Milwaukee Junction area. 3 women opening 3 separate businesses in this retail center. Just off Woodward and Grand in Detroit's Milwaukee Junction community, a group of women entrepreneurs are finding new space at 7446 Woodward, bringing a new sense of energy to a growing business corridor. Why'd you come here?
Because I freaking love Detroit. That's why.
Among them is Christina Magana. She's opened Modish Creative Company in Suite 109, a full-service branding agency helping small businesses and nonprofits.
First of all, I know what it feels like to be a small business owner and to build something from nothing.
Next door, Marquita Dace is celebrating the grand opening of Mixed Ice Cream Shop.
I'm very anxious to be a part of the community.
The mother of 2 is a lifelong Detroiter, intentional about opening her store in Milwaukee Junction.
I didn't see an ice cream parlor in this facility, so I wanted to bring it here instead of, the usual midtown or downtown area.
And a few steps away in Suite 107,
This is the shampoo area.
Colleen Jackson's excited to open her brand new salon called Beauty Cafe, right in the neighborhood where she grew up.
I just wanted a place where women can go, relax. I wanted to create a nice atmosphere.
Launching these new businesses is made possible with help from Detroit's Motor City Match program. More than $160,000 in grants was awarded between these 3 businesses. And just to put it into perspective, Motor City Match has been helping small businesses for 10 years now. These 3 businesses make the 186th, 187th, and 188th businesses opening up under this program in the city of Detroit. I'm Damon Fernandez, Local 4.